We're working in the modules now, and I wanted to show you some tricks on how to consolidate items in your module. This module for week 1 has 8 items in it, which is the very upper limit of what you should have. I usually find that 5 is kind of the magic number for module items. It looks like there's actual content there, but it doesn't look overwhelming for students. If you can get it down that far, that's great. If you can't, do not go above 8. So since I have 8 here, I want to kind of bring this down in case I also wanted to add something else like a discussion to week 1 or a quiz or both. So I want to consolidate some items. You'll see here I have these 4 items I'm highlighting over right now. They all sort of pertain to the orientation materials of the course. I have textbook details, an addendum for the syllabus I want the students to see, my grading policies, as well as a course schedule. There's no reason why these 4 individual pages cannot be all part of the same page. I'm going to show you how I would do that. First of all, I'll open up the textbook details, and I'll see the image that I've created for the textbook information that students need to have access to. I can edit this page very easily. And here's my textbook details. Here, instead of textbook details, I'm going to rename this orientation material. And I want to add more to this. I don't want it just to be the textbook information, but I can add that as a header here. I'm going to go down to the next line. Now I want to access the information in those other module items. So to do that, I'm going to stay on this page, but I'm going to go over to the modules link over here on the left, right-click it, and open in a new tab. Now in the new tab over here, I'm going to flip over to my other tab. I'm going to go down to the next item underneath textbook details where it says syllabus addendum. And see, this is a link to a file in my class. So I want to add this syllabus addendum, this particular file, back in my other tab. So now if I head back to my week 1, I can click here and add my syllabus addendum. And then I want to find that file. And here it is. I recognize it says anti-bullying, so that's the correct one. So this is the problem that I see. Whenever you click to add a link to a file in Canvas, it just grabs the name of that file and it plops it down there, which may or may not be helpful. In this case, it's not very helpful. It's a bit wordy. I can just, instead of doing it this way, I'm going to get rid of everything. I'm just going to call it anti-bullying policies. So instead of just clicking my cursor somewhere to plop down this file name, I want to highlight my anti-bullying policies because I want this to be a link to this file. So if I highlight it and I click on anti-bullying policies, now that text becomes the link instead of the link being the name of the file. Next on the list, I'm going to flip back to my other tab for my modules. Underneath syllabus addendum is grading policies, so I'll click on that. Here we have the same problem. We have this grading policies page, a whole page just for one little link, and the link isn't exactly named in a way that is easy to read. So let's fix both of those. This is G301 for grading policies. If I flip back to my other tab, do the same thing. I'm going to create my link, the text that I want to have the link, and then come over here, see G301 and click on that. And now that is a link to my grading policy documentation. We'll go back to modules, and we got to get the course schedule now. I click on course schedule. I see that is web underscore schedule underscore fall, blah, blah, blah. So I just need to look for web when I come back here. Now I hit save on that, and that turns my textbook info page into orientation materials page. You'll see back when we go back to modules now that it's no longer called textbook information, it's now called orientation materials. And now these others that follow I can get rid of because they're all included on that one page. So now I can remove these items. And suddenly 4 items becomes 1. The second illustration of how to consolidate items, I'm going to show you here with these 2 files that I've added directly to the module. There are a couple problems here. First of all, they just have the name of the file, which may not be very accessible for students to use. And secondly, they do not rely on the normal naming convention I have for the top 3 items where I actually indicate that this is a part of the week 1 module. These also should have the week 1 module indicator somehow on them. So to put these 2 together into one item, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new content page. So I'll click on the addition sign up here. And I'm going to do a content page, create a new page. Call this week 1 readings. Then I can access the week 1 readings page. I'm going to edit the page. I'm going to name those. Hopefully I spelled all that correctly. Pardon me if I did not. So I have the text written out exactly as I want it to appear when the students are going to click on these to download these items. This makes a huge difference for students. Instead of just seeing something called raven.pdf, they actually see, oh, this is Edgar Allan Poe's famous Raven poem, or this is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. They have an idea of kind of what they're getting themselves into when they open these items up. So I'm going to highlight the Raven link, and I'll come over here, and then in the content insertion tool, I'll click on Raven, and same thing for Sleepy Hollow. And again, maybe I'll make that into an unnumbered list to dress it up a little bit and maybe expand that heading a little bit. Now I have a page, it's published. Come back to modules, and I can even get rid of these because they're no longer necessary. And suddenly, my 8-item list for module 1 has become 4 items, and they are all uniform, they all look good, and it's ready to go.